After destroying several boxes in a row, Anne still couldn't find Moen. She lowered her head with a cold gaze and pondered for a moment. The airflow has not changed. Isn't he here? She reshaped her magical energy into a pair of wings and placed them behind her. Anne lightly stepped on the small river with her foot to help her fly. Then she flew quickly in another direction. Since Moen might no longer be here, she decided to search elsewhere. 10 minutes later, the surrounding environment had quieted down. It seems that Anne is no longer here. Only some dust still surrounds the wooden cabinet where Moen is located and has not dissipated. Some small wooden blocks are occasionally blown down by the wind. The surrounding environment has become so quiet that Moen can clearly hear the sound of a wooden block falling to the ground. Besides that, he didn't hear any other sounds. Moen listened carefully to the sound outside the wooden cabinet during these 10 minutes. He is worried that Anne may come back here to find him. Time passed by minute, and he didn't hear any strange sounds. Moen breathed a light sigh of relief and walked to the door of the wardrobe. He silently said in his heart, "It seems that she has already walked far away. Damn it, she nearly gave me a heart attack." At that moment, I really thought I was going to be killed. Anne should have chased outside by now, so Moen reached out and wanted to grab the handle of the wooden cabinet. He was planning to open the door while Anne was not here and quickly escape. However, at that moment, he suddenly felt something. He froze in place for a moment, not daring to move. He widened his eyes and looked ahead with a frightened expression. Suddenly, Anne came to the front of a box. With a cold expression, she stared tightly into the box through the gaps. Her ruby-like eyes flickered with a terrifying red light, as if she had doubts about the box. Then she gently waved her hand and summoned her magical energy. The magical energy quickly flew towards the box in front of her under her guidance and fiercely attacked it. The loud explosion echoed once again in this place. After the dust was blown away by the wind, Anne saw that only a pile of wooden blocks were left in place. Moen is not in this box. Seeing that there was no trace of Moen here, Anne raised an eyebrow and showed a slightly disappointed expression. Perhaps she felt a hint of aura from Moen just now, so she quickly flew back here and carefully searched for a while. As a result, she still couldn't find Moen. She used her magical energy to forge a knife and held it tightly in her hand. She said with a regretful tone, "Seems to be my illusion. The young master indeed ran away. Too bad. I must find young master as soon as possible." After noticing that there was no abnormality here, Anne stepped over the wooden block under her feet and left. She quickened her pace and continued to search for traces of Moen. If Noel and the others discover it, it will be troublesome. Anne is worried that if Moen encounters Noel and other maids during his escape, her plan may be discovered. She must speed up to find Moen and bring him back to the basement. She didn't want other maids to know about Moen's current situation. At this moment, Moen still hid in his wooden cabinet and did not come out. Due to Anne's sudden attack, he was directly frightened and passed out. He sat on the ground in a daze, staring blankly at the floor. His soul was even about to fly out of his body. If he had opened the door and gone out just now, he was likely to have been discovered by Anne and caught by her. At this moment outside the Duke's mansion, the clear sky suddenly became overcast with dark clouds. Then there was a heavy rainstorm in the sky. The rain kept pounding on the windows of the Duke's mansion, as if reminding the people inside that the weather had changed. Moen is still immersed in the shock just now, without any reaction. He is still in a daze. The black book seems a bit worried about him. It appeared alone in front of Moen without Moen's command. It flew over Moen's head and gently tapped his head, trying to wake him up. Feeling someone knocking on his head, Moen widened his eyes and instantly regained consciousness. He thought Anne had found him and shouted in fear. Oh, he directly smashed the door of the wooden cabinet and hurriedly rushed out of it. In his haste to dash out of the closet, Moen tripped over a wooden block on the floor and fell. It looked up nervously and found that it was the black book knocking on his head, so he breathed a sigh of relief. He kept panting as if he hadn't recovered from the shock just now. He placed his hand on his chest and caressed it repeatedly, slowly calming his complex emotions. He muttered to himself, "Damn it, she actually came back. Fortunately, I passed out, otherwise..." Moen carefully observed his surroundings with a cautious attitude and found that Anne was indeed no longer here. He opened the black book and checked how much time he had left to escape from here. He analyzed his current situation. Half an hour. I cannot determine whether Anne is currently searching outside or waiting for me at the exit. But anyway, it's too dangerous for me to continue staying here. I can only take a gamble. Shadow step. Sustained. Maximum firepower. Moen used his skills, and the dark purple magical energy once again surrounded him. He exerted the maximum power of his skills and escaped from here at his fastest speed. He must seize the opportunity to escape the underground sewer before Anne discovers he's still there. After a while, Moen finally saw a light at the end of the road. This means he is getting closer and closer to the exit. At this moment, he suddenly found that the exit was blocked by a huge wooden cabinet. He tightly closed his eyes and used all his strength to forcefully push open the cabinet that was even taller than him with both hands. Then he walked out from the gap that had been pushed open. Moen held onto the wooden cabinet with one hand and looked up at the sky outside. Natural light shone on him. The weather outside is still shrouded in dark clouds, and the rain has not stopped. With a gentle breeze, rainwater naturally fell on his face and body. Moen walked out of the underground waterway and stared blankly at the sky. He seems to have not seen the outside world for a long time. The rain kept wetting his face, but he didn't care about it now. He looked at the world outside the underground waterway with a slightly surprised expression and whispered, I made it out." Moen slowly walked into the heavy rain. He opened his hands and tilted his head up, calmly accepting the rain that fell on him. Suddenly, a deafening clap of thunder suddenly roared across the sky, and dazzling lightning illuminated the entire sky as well as his body. They seemed to be celebrating his successful escape from the basement. He said to the sky with excitement, "I did it. This is freedom." Suddenly, Moen quickly covered his mouth with both hands and didn't continue speaking. He looked to his left and right with anxious eyes. He was worried that Anne might quickly come and catch him after hearing his voice. When he was in the underground waterway, he used lighting magic due to carelessness, and as a result, Anne directly found his location. He silently said in his heart, "Phew," I nearly blurted it out. "Now's not the time to celebrate. Anne might be hovering somewhere. It's not safe here. I have to leave the Duke's mansion. No, I have to leave the capital immediately and run as far as possible. I risk my life to escape the ending of death." Seeing Anne's angry expression, if I were caught by her, the prophecy of the Black Book would be fulfilled. Before Anne could find him, Mullen immediately used the shadow step skill to speed up his running speed. He braved the rain and ran forward as fast as possible to escape from here. He devoted himself to thinking of many ways to escape from here. Since he has succeeded now, he can only continue to escape to a distance and temporarily evade Anne's pursuit.